And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, an instant reaction to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 32-9 resounding dominant win over the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round. Paul just by himself today. We'll have a big show tomorrow. Wild card reaction with Ziggy, Jack, Zach. We're in studio talking Jordan Love, talking CJ Stroud, little Kansas City Chiefs. A really fun show tomorrow morning coming out. And yes, I'm in Packers gear in that video. I lost the bet. Had to go out get a Jordan Love jersey today. It's a youth large. It's the only one you could find. There are no Jordan Love jerseys that can be found in New Jersey. The only ones that they have are all sold out. But tonight, a great night to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Again, 32-9. This one was never really close. Baker Mayfield, Jack said it before the season. If you surround him with the right pieces, which Tampa Bay, we all thought on the show, Tampa Bay had those pieces, and Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rachaad White. This is a talented offense, and this team was more talented than people gave credit to coming into the season. We're talking about the Buccaneers like they're going to be a top 5 pick in the draft back in May, back in June. This team has talent, and Baker Mayfield, though he's shaky at times, when he's on, he's more than capable in the NFL. I mean, there are moments where Baker Mayfield can be an elite quarterback. It's not often, but when he's on, he's someone that you can't mess around with. And he picked apart Philadelphia all night tonight. Tampa Bay, this team's 6-1 in their last 7 games here. They're playing with a lot of fire. Defense, I know it's the Panthers that I'm going to refer to as the first game here, but over the last 2, Panthers had 0 points. Eagles had 9. This Tampa Bay defense is stepping up. The offense looked good tonight. And think about the Packers and how much we've talked about Jordan Love and this Packer team thriving right now. They're surging. Tampa Bay went into Green Bay and pushed them around. They won that game 34-20 just a couple weeks ago. That pushed Packer fans to the brink of falling apart on this season. Next week, Tampa goes to Jacksonville, 30-12. They beat up on the Jaguars. And this is a team that we have to take seriously right now. Going into Detroit, again, we have a lot of friends who are Lions fans on this show, and they're feeling good. They're feeling really good right now, and they should. First playoff win in 30 years. I think that they might, and I said on the show today, actually, or the one that's coming out tomorrow, I was thinking Detroit might push around Tampa or Philly, whoever they got in that game. I'm starting to think that I might have to reconsider that. This Tampa team is playing really well right now. I don't know. I'm looking at these games lately. 6-1 in past 7. It's Baker Mayfield. Just a quick shout out to him. A lot of people gave up on him. Cleveland didn't end well. Last year, Carolina did not go well. He had his moment with the Rams, but it felt like that was more of a one-off on the season, maybe for the rest of his career when he had that late game-winning drive later in the season. I mean, to go to Tampa and do this after people are writing him off, comeback player of the year is probably going to go to DeMar Hamlin or Joe Flacco, but Baker Mayfield, he really impressed a lot of people this season, and then the season's not over yet. There's a chance the Buccaneers are in the NFC Championship game. Who would have thought that? Week 1, I remember watching the Vikings-Bucs, and it was a game the Vikings had to win. It was one that if they lose that game, our season could be in trouble. That was the perception around the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were one of the teams that you had to beat on your schedule. And here we are, January 16th right now. They have a real shot of going to the conference championship game. Detroit's a really good football team. Dan Campbell's done an awesome job with them. 2 great stories in this divisional matchup, but they're beatable. You get after Jared Goff, he makes mistakes. It's going to be a heck of a football game, and those 2 teams are going to be hitting hard. I can't believe that we're sitting here talking about the Packers, the Bucs, the Lions, good football teams, really playing well. But think about who has a chance to go to the conference championship from where we were back in November, October. It seemed like everyone was all in on Philly, Dallas, San Francisco. That was it. And the Eagles and Cowboys got pounded this weekend. Pounded by teams that are just better right now. Speaking of Philadelphia, this Eagles team, I can't think of many in-season collapses that have been quite like this. I mean, this is a collapse of epic proportions here. They were 10-1. You know, in defense of Philly fans might say, or someone defending them, that this team was never that good this season. That they had their struggles all year. We all knew that. But while we acknowledged the flaws at the time, the narrative surrounding Philly earlier this year was that this team was so talented, they were overcoming their flaws and that they were just waiting to pull things together and go on a big playoff run like last season. It was more of a waiting game and saying, oh, they're resilient, they're tough, they're working through their problems. It turns out that's just who they were. And eventually it caught up to them over the past, 7 weeks. They ended the year 1-6. Tampa was 6-1 to end the year. Philadelphia, starting with that San Francisco game, lost 6 of their final 7. I don't know. It's unacceptable. 49ers, Cowboys, Seahawks, I get it. Those are good teams, but you lost to the Cardinals. You lost to the Giants. Buccaneers are good, but the Buccaneers only put up 11 points on average over the final 2 weeks, if my math is correct there. It wasn't like the Bucs offense was lighting the world on fire, and they got scorched tonight. I mean, that defense that dominated all of last season, where'd they go? I know people left. I know there were people get banged up, but I'm completely different. A shadow of who they were last year. And offensively, this offense used to push you around. They'd run down your throat. Tonight, completely shut down. We saw the brotherly shove get stuffed on the 2-point conversion. It was, one of those nights tonight that was really summed up the entire season for Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts taking that horrible safety and, the defense just letting people run wide open. Like I said earlier, it was just a piss poor performance from Philly, really, over the final 7 weeks. And tonight felt like, the perfect summation of what the Eagles have become. And there are a lot of questions that need answers in Philadelphia from the top to the bottom here. We're talking Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts. How do we reignite him? What happened to Jalen Hurts, the MVP caliber quarterback that you've had over the past year and a half? Just disappeared down the stretch. And everyone's injured. Everyone's hurt this time of year. You can't blame it on the Knicks that he had over the final few weeks. That defense that I mentioned before, that needs fixing. I mean, terrifying last year. What happened? Even up front, where they have all those big names, that unit underperformed as well. And the secondary is horrendous, but it's crazy to think that this 10-1 team fell off the map so hard. Yeah, I mean, completely. And for Eagles fans, I mean, what a 180. Remember the Super Bowl the year? Immediately after that, you fell apart too. I don't understand. Philly's had some really good teams. And just next thing you know, they're on the precipice of a rebuild. I don't know what's going to happen with this team in the offseason. I don't know if they just, I just got cold. Not sure. But it was just, an ugly scene for Philadelphia, who's got a lot of questions to answer here. And, they've generally been good at rebuilding quickly over the past few seasons. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're back next year. Just a bizarre ending to the season. I really thought they were going to show up tonight, and they were horrible. Disappointing for Eagles fans. But, I have a lot of friends in New Jersey, Giants fans, who are on top of the world with the Eagles and Cowboys getting bounced like this. And as a Vikings fan, it's not the end of the world either. But yeah. Great game. Great night to be a Tampa Bay fan. Game sucked. Great night to be a Tampa Bay fan. We'll be back tomorrow. Again, NFL wildcard reaction show. A lot of Packers content, a lot of Texans content. Talking a lot Chiefs, Dolphins, everything. Zach wasn't happy with the Dolphins game, but we're going to go big for the rest of the playoffs. We really appreciate everyone who's been listening. We're over 5,000 subscribers now, which is huge for us. I drive around my car sometimes and see the comments as they come in. And the other day, someone just said, I love the show. Never thought that smaller channel would become my favorite sports podcast. And we see every comment. We really appreciate everything. It's wild to think that people are excited to see our takes on this stuff. And we love just talking football. We love talking football with everyone in the comment section on the show. So we really do appreciate everyone who's been chiming in, who's been watching. It's been a cool ride over the past few months, or past few weeks, really. And we really appreciate that. So just wanted you to know that. We'll see you with the reaction show.